evening and welcome to Joy News Prime. We are coming to you live from our studios here at Koko Mlemle in Accra. We are live on DSTV channel 421, GoTV 125, and around the world on myjoyonline.com. I am Carlos Kaloni.
And I am Faustina Safo. Tonight, Attorney General details new evidence of wrongdoing in the ongoing National Service Authority scandal, including a 189 million transfer into the Bank of Ghana account, with 80 million cedis remaining unaccounted for. Meanwhile, the minority serves notice it will challenge the decision of the Attorney General to drop charges against Kwabena Duffour in court.
And Ghana's first Mpox death sparks outrage and criticism of complacency at the Ghana Health Service. As confirmed, cases spiked to over 250. We have details as Joy News checks reveal alarmingly low public awareness about the infection.
Also in the bulletin, we'll take you to the Bongo district where mothers are forced to go home to bathe after giving birth because their health facility has no water.
Joy News is your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism.
It's a good time to take a seat and please be our guest.
Well, government is under fire over the controversial decision to drop criminal charges against former Finance Minister Dr. Kwabena Duffour and 7 others in the collapsed Uni Bank case. The Attorney General says it is part of a settlement deal, but critics argue justice is being traded for convenience. Yes, more in the following report.
Former National Buffer Stock Company CEO, Mr. Abdul Wahab Hanan, and their accomplices. The results of both investigations will be announced very soon.
We'll bring that story to you in our subsequent bulletins.
Well, to other stories now, the minority in Parliament has served notice it will proceed to court to challenge the decision of government to drop criminal charges against Uni Bank founder Kwabena Duffour. Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kwekwa Asante has more in the following report.
Despite addressing a news conference to explain why he had to drop charges against Kwabena Duffour, the Attorney General, Dr. Dominic Ayine, is still drawing the anger of the NPP minority in Parliament. The minority in Parliament say the decision by the AG to drop charges against Dr. Kwabena Duffour is unjustified, and if he does not reverse that decision, they'll be heading to court to challenge that decision.
If his decision is not reversed within a reasonable time, the minority will consider its options of proceeding to court to challenge its decision in its entirety. Let it be known that justice must not only be done, but it must be manifestly seen to be done.
The minority are also raising issues of conflict of interest against the AG, who previously served as lawyer for Dr. Kwabena Duffour.
Has Dr. Dominic Akuritenga Ayine in the past acted for Dr. Kwabena Duffour and Uni Bank? In the case of the Republic versus Kwabena Duffour and 7 others, is Dr. Ayine, now the Attorney General of the Republic of Ghana. The deputy referred to him as the Attorney General, and today he has granted a press conference acknowledging that he gave out the press release and he tries to justify why he entered the nolle prosequi. Ghanaians would want the Attorney General to explain to us in full the extent of conflict of interest using Dominic Ayine as defense counsel and Dominic Ayine as the Attorney General.
According to Kwame Asumedu, who speaks for the minority on legal and constitutional affairs, the AG need to make public what consideration went into the decision to recover 60% of the funds and allow 40% to elude the state.
Away from that, the Ghana Health Service is facing backlash as the country records its first Mpox-related death. Ghana recorded its first case in 2022 with a total case count of 257 with no admissions currently. Speaking on Prime Morning on the Joy News channel, head of the Infectious Disease Center, Dr. Joseph Oliver Kome, says the rise in cases may be due to growing complacency even within the health system. Member of Parliament Select Committee on Health, Dr. Kingsley Ajiman, said the spike in cases point to government neglect and lack of urgency.
On health has not had any briefing on, and we don't have to even have a briefing on. You see, if you talk of such viral disease conditions, it must be greeted with a very high level of communication. It's a clear case of the government's neglect towards this particular disease condition, which is spreading very fast. If you watch the disease trajectory, you realize that the month of July, it has escalated. The question is, what are the Mpox protocols? When is the government, through its Ministry of Health and the Ghana Health Service, going to brief the people of this country on safety precautions? We have to do the comparison. How did we approach COVID? What were the protocols that were put in place? There was almost an immediate thing to curtail it. Health promotion was very intentional and deliberate. We've not been briefed as Parliament. The people of this country do not know what is happening. There has been somehow a subtle or an inertia approach of government towards this particular Mpox thing, and it is not helpful. Go to the streets of Kokomemle and do a quick survey. Ask the reasonable people on the street, the ordinary people on the street, if they know anything about Mpox. Do it right now. So it's not about me saying it. It is obvious. The evidence is so clear, my brother. It's so clear. It has been neglect of this particular disease condition. Health promotion has not been intentional. Nothing much has been done about it to inform the public. Today you have one death. This is a disease condition that can be controlled because it is so obvious to see the skin and to be able to control and confine these people to prevent exposure. Show me one commercial ad or a health promotional thing that you play on your airwaves, on your network. The government must be up and doing. You can't play politics in the health of this country. No.
We can now hear from the head of Infectious Diseases Center, Dr. Joseph Oliver Kome, who warns that the spread could intensify if immediate action isn't taken.
Mpox is here to stay. Occasionally, we may have outbreaks, but it's an endemic. What we think we are doing wrong is that maybe we've taken our eye off the ball a little. When we had a lot of cases, no death, so everybody felt it was just a simple, normal disease. And so maybe we stopped taking the necessary precautions. But maybe after one mortality, we will start looking at things and looking at things better. I must say that on the whole, we have done some good work. It's unfortunate that we've lost one person. Currently, we know that there are 3 regions where we tend to have high cases, mainly in the Western region, Greater Accra region, and then the Western North region. So that's where we're concentrating most of our effort. Well, we're still trying to understand the disease pattern in those areas, maybe also because those areas are actually looking for the cases. So we must say that they are really advanced in how they look for the cases, highly sensitized, the community is aware, and the community is reporting the cases easily.
Well, but how aware are the general public? Joy News visited some transport terminals to find out whether commercial vehicle commuters are aware of the disease and the basic safety measures.
Please, I've heard something about Mpox.
Okay, and are you aware of how it's like?
Something small. Yes, something small. I think it affects the skin, and also I think it is airborne, so it can be transmitted from one person to another if precautions are not taken.
Okay. Now, you are supposed to make sure that there's social distancing to make sure that you don't get the virus. But currently, I see you in a public transport right now. Are these rules being enforced, or personally, are you making sure that you are making sure there's social distancing?
Okay. Personally, I'm making sure that these things are being taken into consideration. But if, like, being in a public transport, the drivers, if you tell them, since they are very much interested in their monies and everything, they don't even want to reserve seats in order to ensure social distancing. But I'll urge passengers to also, like we are saying, washing our hands, making sure that we do things right so that we don't get such viruses.
You've never heard of it?
I don't know exactly what it is, but I've heard the name before.
Please, I have no idea about it.
This is your first time hearing about it? Okay, so I've heard of the mpox virus, but then I don't really know what it is. And I haven't seen anyone with such illness before. Okay. No, please. You've never heard about it before? Yes.
Well, let's get on Zoom now and speak to Dr. John Amazy. He's infectious disease professional and researcher at the Kwame Nkrumah Kumasi Center for Collaborative Research, by the way. Doc, we appreciate your time here on Joy News Prime. Since we recorded our first case, we've been seeing continuous spike in the cases recorded. I'm just wondering, what is the cause of this continuous spread?
Now, thanks for reaching out, and good evening to you and all the listeners. Greetings from the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology in Kumasi. Yeah, as rightly said, the disease has spread. It emerged sometime last year in Ghana. What we're seeing is what we'll call a natural progression, in the sense that you're getting more and more cases, and it's kind of cumulative in a way that it compounds itself as more and more people get it. And we don't overtly control it. You will see it mount and mount and mount. And now we've seen the first mortality. It will not be surprising if there are more. We sincerely hope not. But to be most sincere, the disease is currently on the ascendancy. And that means that there are more people who are infected out there. And that means that they will make contact with people who are not yet exposed, and therefore will be at risk. So it's a natural progression.
And then just looking at the impact so far, we've been on the grounds engaging individuals who tell us they don't even understand how this virus is spread. How are we handling this as a country based on your analysis?
A great question. I was following your reportage, and I heard someone say that he hears it's airborne. Well, it's not airborne. It's a skin to skin. It's a contact disease. It's spread by direct contact, and even especially, I should say, through sexual contact. But the interesting thing about mpox is that if someone has it, you may see the lesions on the body, right? And naturally, if someone has lesions or these pus-filled vesicles, as we'll call them, on their body, no one would like to make contact with them. So I'm not too worried about that. But it is possible to have mpox and not show. And this is where it becomes challenging. I don't think someone would be so eager to have sex with someone who has rashes all over their body. But people can have mpox and be carrying the virus, and you will not see this and know at all. So for me, I think one of the most important things we need to do is to, first of all, educate people on this and make them aware. And secondly, ramp up our contact tracing. It is currently ongoing, where those who are detected to have mpox, we try to trace their contacts. But we need to be a bit more aggressive about this, simply because people can be asymptomatic and have the mpox and spread it. So once we follow up on everyone who has it and their contacts in a slightly more aggressive way, then we're more likely to be able to catch all those who've been exposed, keep them away, i.e. to quarantine them until we're sure they don't have the disease. And then in that way, we can, what I'll call, say, short circuit the spread of the disease. So it's a little complicated, particularly because of the asymptomaticity.
And just before I let you go, is government doing enough really to stem the tide?
Well, my argument would be that we can always do better, and then this is what really matters. And as I mentioned, the key is really with doing the surveillance through the follow-up of those who we detect have the disease. It's one of those diseases for which once you have it, everybody sees it. It's just like having chicken pox. People have chicken pox, you will see it. It's right there in your face, and you wouldn't want to be close to them. So I'm not too worried about that. But the key thing is, what about the people who have been exposed to the one who has the rashes and who you don't know? Because they may have it, then they'll be in contact with someone else and be in contact with someone else. So the contact tracing, to me, is the key here. If we can ramp up our contact tracing, it's a bit expensive. It's also a bit intrusive, because you'll have to go to people and say, hey, we realize you've been in contact with so and so and so we've got to keep you aside, quarantine you for a while until we're sure. So that's important. And then making sure that we have the necessary tests in an easy way to quickly differentiate those who have it from those who don't have it. We're not yet at the place where these vaccines are so readily available, but there are vaccines for Mpox. I don't think it's time to go vaccinating everyone against Mpox. But for me, it is the contact tracing and the testing to make sure that we alleviate the pressure, especially on those we need to quarantine.
Thank you, Joe. We appreciate your time here on Join Us Prime.
Well, let's take it back to our earlier story where government is under fire over the controversial decision to drop criminal charges against former Finance Minister Dr. Duffour and 7 others in the collapsed Uni Bank case. The Attorney General says it is part of a settlement deal, but critics argue justice is being traded for convenience. There's more in the following report.
Collapse of Uni Bank in 2018 was one of Ghana's biggest financial scandals, with directors accused of draining over 5 billion Ghana cedis through unapproved loans and transactions. Nearly 7 years later, the Attorney General's office has dropped the case against Dr. Duffour and 7 others, citing significant recovery of state funds.
The complex nature of the legal proceedings has significantly delayed any meaningful recovery. The accused person's proposal fell within the receiver's mandate to maximize recoveries for Uni Bank in order to settle the bank's creditors, mainly Government of Ghana and some institutions.
Dr. Ayene says the state has already recovered assets worth over 824 million Ghana cedis, with another 1.2 billion cedis expected through civil litigation. He defends the deal, arguing that the charges were contestable and there was a strong risk of losing the case in court.
On the contrary, the record shows that the charges were contestable and there was a high likelihood that the defense could have raised sufficient doubt to procure an acquittal. We recovered 824 million worth of assets, which will be handed over to the state, and established a structured pathway for recovering the additional 1.2 billion Ghana cedis through the civil, process.
But the decision has triggered sharp backlash. Executive Director of the Media Foundation for West Africa, Suleiman Abrahima, describes it as a deeply problematic and disappointing.
I think that the situation is really still very, very problematic because I see this as if this is what we're going to be building on, then no rich man, no endowed person would ever suffer the consequences of depriving the state of resources.
Meanwhile, the Attorney General gave updates on other high-profile cases. He revealed fresh evidence has delayed charges in the National Service Secretariat scandal involving 189 million Ghana cedis, with 80 million still unaccounted for.
We have therefore halted the filing of charges so as to await the receipt of the evidence from the relevant state agencies.
Also under the microscope, investigations into Chairman Wontumi and the former CEO of the National Buffer Stock Company. Dr. Ayende says dockets are ready and charges will follow soon.
The Economic and Organized Crime Office has completed investigations in respect of Wontumi, Chairman Wontumi, and the former National Buffer Stock Company CEO, Mr. Abdul Wahab Hanan, and their accomplices. The results of both investigations will be announced very soon.
The Attorney General also addressed the controversial SkyTrain deal, revealing fresh findings involving former Director General of the National Signal Bureau, Kwabena Edubuahin.
We expect our second witness to start testifying before the beginning of the legal vacation on July 31st, 2025. The trial in the SkyTrain case is expected to start before the beginning of the legal vacation.
Dr. Ayene also disagrees with claims that the Operation Recover All Loot is losing momentum. He insists it's the opposition MPP fueling that narrative. The Uni Bank scandal settlement sparks intense debate. Has pragmatism trumped justice, or did the state dodge a costly legal defeat? As the dust settle, the scrutiny will continue.
Away from that, imagine giving birth in a health facility and being told to go home just to take a bath. That's the harsh reality facing mothers in the Bongo district of the Upper East region. Women are bringing life into the world in clinics with no toilets, no running water, and no dignity. In our latest documentary, Mothers in Peru, produced in partnership with Water Aid, we uncover the silent struggle of women giving birth in some of Ghana's most undeserved communities.
Is Konkua, a small farming community in the southwestern part of the Bongo district with a population of over 1,000 people. This small community-based health planning and services CHIPS Center is the only healthcare facility here. Both pregnant women and nursing mothers come here for antenatal and postnatal services. But the facility has no access to water and no washrooms or toilets. Mary Ania has been coming to this facility for some years now. She received antenatal care and delivered her second child in this facility.
Because there's no water here, I have to send my sister to go home and carry and bring me water so that I can take my bath here. I went home and came back here with rashes all over my baby.
Like Mary, these two expectant mothers coming for antenatal care are facing similar difficulties due to the lack of access to water and sanitation facilities. They say they are not even able to collect their urine samples in a dignified manner for lab tests.
The lack of water at the facility always forces the midwife to discharge you immediately after delivery. The only option is for your relatives to bring you water from home. This often takes long and you would have been exposed to infections before getting the water.
The last time I delivered, I had to wait to be discharged the next day before I could have a bath. The urinal is outside and it's far from us. It's best to have it inside to enable us to easily access it.
According to the Bongo District Director of Health Services, Estella Abazese, many of the healthcare facilities in the district were built without the provision of proper water, sanitation and hygiene wash facilities because they were not intended to admit patients or for complex procedures such as delivering pregnant mothers.
So we've had situations, we deliver children, neonates, send them home, and within the next 2 days they are back at the hospital with sepsis. And we can't rule out the possibility that our infection control practices at the facilities without water is challenging and surely will have an effect in the spread of infections.
Well, NGO Water Aid, which has been at the forefront of providing boreholes for such deprived communities, is strongly advocating for the supply of potable water by the Ghana Water Company Limited. Here's the head of the strategy, policy and campaign at the NGO, Ibrahim Musa.
You can see that she has mentioned a number of healthcare facilities, basically the CHIPS, Community Health Planning and Health Systems. For instance, she cited the case of Konkua, she cited the case of Namong, Tinkombio, that do not have wash in them. And the struggles that midwives, nurses, and sometimes doctors go through to support women to deliver. Which means that the problem has persisted for long, yet organizations like our organization, Water Aid, is in there, with others, supporting to ensure that this hidden crisis, we shed light on it, for those who have to help us deal with it.
Well, let's explore this further. Join us now is Justin Takpia, his WASH focal person in the Upper East region, Ghana Health Service. We appreciate your time here on Joe News Prime. I'm sure this situation has come to your attention. How is government dealing with this, really?
Yeah, thank you so much. I think, as has been said already by other, yes, I think that it's a big challenge, but government through the district assemblies are doing their best. Just that, as in the past, you will see that they build the facilities, and these facilities are not wash facilities are not incorporated, and so it poses a great challenge. The other issue is also to do with sometimes maintenance. So other NGOs, assemblies put up the facilities, and it's difficult sometimes maintaining them. And so it actually poses a great challenge as far as healthcare provision is concerned.
You say government is doing its best, but clearly your best isn't good enough. We have women compelled to use health facilities without a washroom. How are you planning to deal with this strategically moving forward?
Yes, so on this, I think that the region is also putting plans in place and liaising with the district assemblies and the RCC to put in place measures that can forestall some of these things. And I think the last engagement we had, there was a consensus that going forward, new facilities that will be put up will incorporate wash facilities in order to solve some of these challenges.
And how about existing facilities without it?
Yeah, so the plan is to see how they can be retrofitted to incorporate them.
And is there a timeline to this plan?
Yes, so some of these things are timelines, fine, but it's all will have to do with funding.
Okay.
So when the funding is available, I'm sure facilities can be worked on to make sure that water is brought on, and other wash facilities such as bathrooms, toilets are incorporated.
So it's a funding problem, you say. Have you started liaising with the finance ministry so that you can get the funds to execute the project?
So these ones are at the higher level. So I'm sure RCC, which is in the future, and the yearly budgeting and planning that they do, I think the last engagement we had, I think that the RCC is working closely with government to see how best they can make sure these things are put in place.
Thank you so much for your time here on Join Us Bar.
Well, away from that, tension is mounting in the Echima Mwabieja South municipality of the Ashanti region following a dramatic incident which suspected operatives of the National Security reportedly stormed and locked up the Forestry Commission office in Nkawie. The action, which occurred early Monday morning, is believed to be a retaliatory move following a recent anti-illegal mining swoop led by officials of the Forestry Commission and the Ghana Police Service in the Nkawie Forest District. Now, Deputy Chief Executive Officer for the Forestry Commission, Elikem Eric Kevin Kotoku, joins us for more on this. Elikem, has there been any official communication yet from the National Security concerning this particular incident?
Thank you. Good evening to your viewers. There's not been any very official communication, though, but we are aware that these were not national operatives sanctioned by the National Security.
On what basis are you making that conclusion?
We have since morning when this news reached us, I have reached out to the regional minister, to our regional manager, to the regional police command, and also made attempts to reach the National Security Coordinator. And information I gathered after I even spoke to the deputy in charge of operations at the presidency was that this was not a sanctioned activity by the National Security. It is, however, also not entirely clear if this is any retaliatory response to certain activities as is being peddled out there, because that cannot be also authenticated.
Well, and before I let you go, what is the way forward on this matter?
The regional minister and the other stakeholders in terms of our regional manager, the district managers, the police command, and others have assured that they have brought calm over there. The district office keys, for instance, in Kawi has been handed over to the DCE, and so the matter has been restored. I am very hopeful that tomorrow the officers can return to work, but we will still be in touch with the security experts in order to who would assess best.
All right. Thank you so much, Elikem Protocol.
Also to come on Joy News, Prime MPs eulogize music legend Daddy Lumba, with former Defense Minister Dominic Intuo calling for a state funeral.
Welcome back, and thank you so much for staying with us here on Joy News Prime.
To other stories now, the opposition New Patriotic Party has decided not to hold a primary to elect a candidate ahead of the upcoming Akwetia by-election to replace the late MP N.S. Yakumi. According to Eastern Regional Chairman Jeff Konedu, the party and persons who expressed interest in contesting to replace the late legislator have all decided to back a businessman, one Solomon Asumedu, as the party's candidate for the by-election expected to be held in April. He spoke at a news conference in Parliament in the presence of some aspirants, including former Akwetia MP Amazy.
National Council of the Party set up a committee, and we were tasked to find out who could be our candidate, or whether we will do primaries or not. So the team went to Akwetia in the constituency, had engagement, a lot of engagement with the grassroots, electoral area coordinators, polling station officers, chiefs, opinion leaders, and majority of the people said that for primaries, we should take it out. We shouldn't conduct primaries in Akwetia. And that's exactly what we followed. And then now comes to how we will get a suitable candidate. We commissioned a search, we commissioned a research. People went into the constituency and gave them all the names that had expressed interest. In this case, Honorable Amazy, Lawyer Uredu, Kwame Asumedu, Daniel Nyame, Osei Apia. And we gave them these names to go into the constituency, in the villages, in the towns, to throw out these names, to come back and report to us who the suitable person could be. And to cut a long story short, when it came, the party saw that they've settled on Kwame Asumedu, Solomon. And so we reported back to council, and council also gave us the go-ahead to engage further and to follow the due process to do a popular acclamation for Kwame Asumedu in the constituency. Today marks the official announcement of Kwame Asumedu as our candidate for the Akwetia constituency by elections.
Well, Director of Elections for the NPP, Evans Nimako, joins us live on Zoom. What is informing this decision? Because some are saying this is not democratic and it goes against your own party's regulation when it comes to selecting a parliamentary candidate.
Well, thank you very much for having me. And good evening to your listeners and viewers on the social handle. I think for us as New Patriotic Party, people may have their own, opinion, but per the direction given by the National Executive Committee, supported by the National Council of the party, the body put together to engage with critical stakeholders in the Equatorial constituency has been ongoing. And to inform you, the former National Chairman, Peter McMenu, former Majority Leader, Honorable State Chairman, the former High Commissioner to United Kingdom, Papa Uzo Ankuma, are the senior members that have been sanctioned by the National Council to continue to engage with the people of Akwatia. And you are aware that the Akwatia seat is a traditional seat of the new Patriotic Party. We know perfectly the dynamics in the constituency. And for all intents and purposes, every action that are being taken by the new Patriotic Party is to ensure that we will end up having a representative for Akwatia constituency sponsored by the new Patriotic Party to be in Parliament to continue the good work that Honorable N.S. Yakumi was pursuing. At this point, I must say that the new Patriotic Party is bereaved. The family in the constituency, the immediate family, the wife and the children are grieving over the death of their beloved ones. And so it's not going to be the business as usual. And so our arrangement is definitely different from what others would do. And so if you heard the regional chairman, Mr. Jeff Kunedu, informing you, the party is engaging on consensus arrangement to pursue our agenda.
Okay. All right. Before I let you go, who is this Solomon Asumedu, and do you believe is the ideal candidate to actually get you the Akwatia seat?
I mentioned to you that the party is engaging with the critical stakeholders in the constituency. The polling station executives, electoral coordinators, senior party members in the constituency. Will, on the day that is to be set by the committee, which have been given the mandate, will endorse the decision that will be put on the table. And so, for now, we'll wait and have a day set up for constituency delegate conference.
All right.
To endorse the decision that has been made by the committee that has been made responsible for this assignment.
Thank you. Thank you so much for speaking to us.
My pleasure.
Well, away from that, more than 200 hospitality and tourism facilities in the Ashanti region have been shut down in the major enforcement by the Ghana Tourism Authority. The crackdown revealed unsafe structures, poor sanitation and expired licenses. The authority has warned the public to stay away from the tagged properties. Clinton Yepwa has more in the following report.
At some locations, caretakers fled upon spotting the enforcement team. Others offered no justification for their non-compliance, having ignored previous warnings and notices.
What I say? Now I'm ready to listen to you.
I remember the authorities once came here to paste the closure sticker, but my uncle ignored and said he will handle it himself. Usually he does the documentations. I have no idea of these breaches.
I joined the hostel as a porter in a shorter period from now, about almost a year now. So I don't know about recent agreement or something, but I'm sure my boss may be aware or something.
What did the authority tell you?
He instructed he comes to the office and then start registration or something.
Closure tags were affixed to entrances, signaling shutdowns for failure to meet requirements under legislative instruments LI 2238 and 2239, and cautioning the public to stay away.
From tomorrow going, should look for an alternative facility because the facility has been closed down for now. Patriotic Party, the sticker we are posting there is a legal document. Nobody should take it off. We are the one that is posting it. We are the same person that is supposed to come back and open it. Do you understand? And that is what we have written in it. Okay?
Ashanti Regional Director of the Ghana Tourism Authority, Frederick J. Rudolph, expressed dismay at the findings, indicating a disappointment in consumers who, despite poor service, continue to patronize these unsafe places. The Tourism Authority says it will not relent until the hospitality landscape in Ghana reflects internationally accepted safety and operational standards.
Having been in this space for a very long time, nothing has really shocked me. But it is surprising to also see the level of substandard facilities we have in the industry. And that has been a major worry to me personally. We are doing our best to make sure that the facilities operate within the minimum standards. But it looks like some of them are just not willing. Another shocking thing that I've also seen is a guest that is actually happy that he has rented a room that is substandard. It is very, very shocking to me. The regulation is backed by certain laws. We want to make sure that we enhance standards. We want to make sure that operators are compliant.
For Joy News, my name is Clinton Yeboah.
Well, it's time now for Showbiz, and Becky Bex joins me in the studio. Hi, Becky.
Hello to you, Fosti. How you doing?
I'm good, darling.
You know what?
Happy New Week.
Yeah, but the entertainment industry has been thrown into mourning because we lost a legend. For those of you who had no idea who Lumba is, he has made a lot of impact in the industry, and he explains how people are celebrating him after his demise. We have a package for you celebrating his legacy and what he meant to this industry.
I only know him from the professional level, work. Off work, he is a love me, hate me character. I'm sure people who have worked with him, who have heard very good things about him right now, some of them are also saying, isn't the same nobody you're talking about? Because if he has to be tough and rough, he can be. And he can be extremely nice. I'm sure you saw his last performance when he was calling people to come on stage, and he's always thanking people. You know, his last comment that he made on his own radio station was, Makramo, that was his last line on his own radio station.
Like that Lumba. He's so passionate. And, you know, it will be something that nobody can feel.
Yeah.
Shoes nobody can feel.
Yeah. What did you learn from your association with him?
Well, what I learned was like, you know, keeping your eyes on the road. Sometimes I'll go to him when I was young. I'll go to him. He will not wake up the whole day. He'll be in his room. When he wakes up like 11 or 12, he'll just call you and say, come up. Pick a recorder. They will pick a recorder. He'll be talking about life. He'll just be standing, you know, in the night, and then he'll be talking and talking, and all of a sudden something comes up. He'll be humming. He'll be doing something. All of a sudden he said, "For record tomorrow, we are going to record this song."
Still on celebrating Daddy Lumba, members of Parliament have taken turns to celebrate iconic Ghanaian musician Charles Kojo Fosu, popularly known as Daddy Lumba, who passed over the weekend. Former Minister of Defense Dominic Intifo says the late musicians deserve a state burial.
Things out of the ordinary for an extraordinary human being. Mr. Speaker, forgive us, but we are mourning the best of the best. Forgive us, for we shall never forget the name Charles Kojo Fosu, a.k.a. Daddy Lumba, a.k.a. DL. On that day, let all of us be present to mourn him, wherever the funeral will be held, whether in Suta, whether in Kumasi, or whether in Accra. But I wish the state will give him a state barrier here at the forecourt of Parliament for the people of Ghana to come and mourn him. And I bet you the streets of Accra will be full. I went to the gym today and everybody was playing Daddy Lumba songs. You move all the parties of Accra, people are playing that Lumba songs. People are weeping from Ghana to Germany. And people are weeping from Bolga to Accra. Some people who never wept for their family members wept when they heard that Lumba died. And it's not because they knew him physically. Not many people even met him. But the fact that he brought joy to the hearts of many people in Ghana. Mr. Speaker, Lumba brought joy through music. We are doing politics. I believe we shall also bring joy through politics. But for Lumba, he has done his part. He's a great man, and we should not forget of that Lumba. Lumba incarnate will come one day. But I dare to say that he may arguably be the greatest Ghanaian musician to walk on the streets of Accra and to walk on the streets of Ghana. I thank you, Mr. Speaker, and may God bless all of us. And may his soul rest in perfect peace.
Now, MP for Pandai, Matthew Nyindam, also took to the floor to eulogize Daddy Lumba and sang some of his songs in the chamber.
With your wife, just play that Lumba's music and you'll be fine. Mr. Speaker, even if you want to go and do galamsey, play that Lumba's music and you'll be encouraged. Mr. Speaker, the man is a legend. If you want to know, with your wife, you have a problem, just play Odo. Odo me pewa sempa o na abwa hia. Pem 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 pem. Odo me pewa sempa o na abwa hia na mpira di pantia. Me pewa sempa o hia na wan kira di pantia. Na de me pewa semu bebre. Your wife is good to go. Mr. Speaker,
yeah, for those who are married, you should take a cue from there. Just sing the song. Yeah, McAfee is looking at me like, yeah.
No, but Becky, it's sad. It's sad how we only recognize the importance of people only after they're gone. And for me, my mantra has been, treat me well now. When I'm not around, I won't see the flowers. I won't see the state burial. I won't see the music. I want to be treated well now, while I'm alive, while I can appreciate it.
I celebrate you.
Oh, thank you, darling.
And we celebrate everybody else doing incredibly well in their various industries.
Yeah.
We're grateful for your time this evening.
Becky, tell them where they can find more news.
Well, obviously, it's myjoyonline.com. That's where you find all the news. Please stay with the Joy News channel. Pius Kojo Baka will be here, hopefully, for this evening's prime business, and also subsequently we'll have sports coming in.
Yeah.
We'll leave you with Yentiobia by Lumba.
Shanel Adam Bonyo, Sidiamana Fumbe Sembu, Party Pompe Yankania.